The Awakening of the Chosen. The thought that our soul makes a deliberate decision about the family we will be born into is interesting. It's as if each of us gets the chance to stroll through a showroom of life events, carefully selecting the circumstances that would best support our spiritual development and enlightenment. When we consider this notion, it's natural to question why a soul would select a family when the struggles appear to exceed the times of calm and affection. This is particularly true when we are raised in an atmosphere that resembles a battlefield rather than a secure sanctuary. However, it is via these obstacles that our souls may grow and develop to degrees that would otherwise be impossible. Growing up in a conflict-ridden and dysfunctional family may seem like a terrible twist of destiny, trapping us in a cycle of misery and grief. However, there is immense insight hiding behind these events. At first sight, pain may seem to be a punishment, but it really provides us with a unique chance for reflection and personal discovery. This suffering, which initially weighs us down so heavily, may be a strong motivator for spiritual growth. It is similar to a tight cocoon that pushes down on the butterfly, forcing it to battle, strain, and finally grow strong enough to burst through the obstacles and fly out. As we adopt this viewpoint, we realize that our wounds are more than simply battle scars. They are evidence of survival and learning. Each family difficulty serves as a lesson, a precious chance to turn suffering into knowledge. Rather of prolonging the cycle of grief that may have marked our familial histories, we are urged to look inside and discover the capacity to change the narrative. So, how can we alter scars? Perhaps it is by learning to forgive ourselves, as well as others. Forgive us for allowing grief to govern the direction of our life, or for allowing despair to crush our yearning for better knowledge. True mastery is the capacity to discover love and truth in the midst of turmoil. As a result, we come to regard each hardship as a springboard that drives us over our own self-imposed constraints. This journey is not easy. It takes tremendous fortitude to confront the worst portions of our life and look past the veil of suffering. However, it is a road that provides enormous benefits. As we begin this path of self-discovery, we become aware of our own nature. We recognize that we are much more than the labels and expectations placed on us by external circumstances. We are spiritually strong creatures capable of transcending any sorrow or suffering. In doing so, we become beacons of light and hope, not just for ourselves, but also for our families and communities. This call to change and transcendence is not limited to those who believe they have been chosen. It is a universal summons that applies to all souls seeking a greater knowledge of life and its purpose. When a person accepts and embraces this challenge, they begin the journey to the heart of their being, contributing to a larger movement of healing and spiritual progress. This, in turn, broadens the reach of love and understanding in the world, triggering a chain reaction of good change that begins inside ourselves and spreads outside. When we analyze this spiritual journey, we realize that the obstacles we've faced from birth aren't just a matter of luck. They are instead deliberately picked by our spirit, which recognizes in them the possibility for infinite growth and development. These are difficulties that put our resilience to the test, help us grow in wisdom, and develop greater self-awareness. Understanding this is a true gift, and as a spiritual leader at the Spiritual Secret, I am thrilled to accompany you on this exciting path of discovery and spiritual awakening. Each of you is a courageous individual who chooses to confront your darkness and emerge stronger every day. We are all on this journey together to shed a light on the areas of our life that need love and care. From where I sit, it seems like any road we choose will always lead to the light, as long as we allow ourselves to follow it with purpose and present. The decisions our soul takes before to incarnation represent a cosmic awareness and a greater vision that extends beyond the limits of our conscious comprehension. Each obstacle, each unpleasant event, is not a punishment, but rather an opportunity that invites us to go deeper into our own core and realize the strength that has always been there. Transforming obstacles into opportunities does not imply erasing or dismissing the suffering we experience, but rather acknowledging it as a necessary part of our evolutionary journey. As we completely embrace the route that got us here, we treasure every lesson and opportunity for progress. This not only changes our perspective on our own life, but it also teaches us to see others with more compassion and understanding, because realizing our own hard path helps us to connect. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with The Path of the Chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. More profoundly with other souls who may be going through similar experiences. At this stage, it is critical to remember that exercising this concept is ongoing and involves consistent work. It is not about perfection, but about growth. Every moment of thought and act of self-compassion contributes to our own enlightenment. Our growth is not a race. It is a journey full of intricacies and experiences that change us and equip us to assist others along the route. With each encounter and internalized lesson, we are reminded that we may also be agents of change in the lives of people who cross our way. Our own change has the potential to inspire others to go on personal journeys of healing and self-discovery. And in doing so, we contribute to a communal awakening, a genuine elevation of global consciousness that resonates beyond the individual, hitting the heart of who we are as a spiritual community. At The Spiritual Secret, we continue to investigate these concepts and facilitate discussions that promote development and change. The path does not stop with academic comprehension. Rather, it grows with the incorporation of this wisdom into our everyday lives, in the tiny decisions we make, and the ways we choose to view and interact with the world. By developing a climate of acceptance and openness, we create a safe place in which we may all share our stories and experiences while nourishing one another with support and compassion. So the voyage of self-discovery and spiritual satisfaction continues, calling us to be inquisitive, to question the usual, and to spread our love and light in every direction. May we all find within ourselves a limitless ability to love, learn, and evolve. And may we never forget that the genuine trip brings us closer to our own identity and the mission that our soul has chosen from time immemorial. Soul choice serves as a strong reminder that we are all interrelated, navigating the universe's currents towards enlightenment and unconditional love. The concept of soul forging in toxic families conjures up a strong vision of metamorphosis through suffering. Comparing the difficulties of such an environment to fire, which burns and wounds, offers an experience that, although unpleasant, has the capacity to temper us, transforming us into something more durable and refined, similar to steel. This experience pushes us to give up the delusion that life is simple or fair, pushing us to confront the brutal truth of the human condition. Toxic families, in this view, are more than simply a collection of negative situations. They are set up as training grounds for people who have been selected for a greater purpose. These people do not spend their lives passively. They are motivated to go beyond the ordinary, to break intergenerational cycles of misery and destructive habits. The poison in these relationships does not occur by coincidence. It is seen as an ancestral legacy, consisting of unhealed traumas and unconscious actions passed down from generation to generation. In this setting, the chosen one has an enormous job. The urge to fit in or live a regular life is sacrificed in favor of something much higher. By choosing to tackle these obstacles full on, this individual seeks not just personal recovery, but also the chance to release their ancestors and pave the way for future generations. However, overcoming this pattern of misery needs more than just purpose. It necessitates extensive experience and awareness of the cycles that cage us. This is because you cannot conquer what you do not understand, and understanding can only be gained by personal experience and direct confrontation with one's own shadow. This familiar setting, which at first sight seems to be an impending storm, contains the chance for learning. It is not a storm that will kill us. Rather, it will teach us to swim, develop our resilience, and awaken us to a deeper existential purpose. Accepting this task as chosen ones leads us along a road of self-knowledge, where we gradually discover our soul's innate fortitude to meet such obstacles. Being forged by this experience allows you to develop into inner strength and transmute anguish into personal empowerment. The tempest that is the family environment then exposes itself not as a simple disaster, but as a mirror reflecting the parts of our life that need care, healing, and compassion. This path, as difficult it may be, leads us closer to our genuine selves, the authentic essence that is often disguised by layers of fear and bad patterns that we unwittingly absorb. Recognition is critical throughout this transformational process. Recognizing that each tough moment serves a greater purpose makes all the difference, allowing us to bravely embrace and flow with the winds of change rather than resisting them. The ability to not only survive, but thrive in the face of adversity distinguishes the chosen one. Each step taken toward understanding and healing reverberates throughout the ancestral lineage, freeing not only the soul itself, but also acting as a balm for the suffering passed down from previous generations. Allowing ourselves to go through this spiritual forging process makes us not only stronger, but also catalysts for healing and social evolution. This motivates a new generation to seek liberty and the development of new forms of love and understanding. The storm eventually passes, and what emerges when it does is not only stronger, wiser people, but whole communities working together to create a better future. We are thus asked to accept the trip, however difficult and severe it may seem, with an open heart. With each obstacle, with each triumph against the darkness, we renew our determination to not only survive, but to utilize our experience to illuminate the road for those who will come after us. Through our commitment to healing and personal development, we can together make a tremendous difference in the world, ushering in a new era of love and higher awareness. Each win against adversity demonstrates that we are stronger and more resilient than we previously believed. Imagine, as we negotiate these turbulences, we begin to break free from the shackles of inherited bad habits, seeing how our own development affects people around us. This effect extends beyond our life, resonating across spiritual timelines that link the past and future. It's vital to realize that we're not alone in this storm. It's typical to feel lonely in our problems, but when we look deeper, we find the support that surrounds us: loyal friends, spiritual mentors, and our own community of individuals seeking insight and progress. Recognizing and accepting this support provides us with the strength we need to carry out our purpose. Thus, each decision taken and each struggle fought becomes a measure of a larger dance, with each step contributing to the symphony of spiritual awakening. This idea encourages us to value who we choose to be and the power of our choices to impact the world around us. As we behave in accordance with this newfound insight, we not only improve our lives, but we also cause a healing ripple effect that benefits people we love and even those we don't know. Thus, any soul that responds to the call to be created and changed by existence is, in fact, performing a holy service to mankind. Accepting soul forging requires enormous bravery and compassion. We are willing to live not just for ourselves, but also as guiding lights, forging new pathways of hope and healing for others who face similar problems on their own journeys. This way of looking at life is not a one-way street, but rather a multi-directional interchange of energy and love. It serves as a reminder that no matter how arduous the journey, there is always a way out that leads to light, knowledge, and compassion. Our goal to reverse trends and create new routes for ourselves and others gives us meaning and purpose. The greatest gift we can give future generations is our commitment to progress and the ongoing modification of the paradigms that have been passed down to us. The scars we wear are therefore badges of courage and devotion, proof that no matter how fierce the storm, we do not sink into darkness, but rise into the light. Each of us has the power to convert our current circumstances into an experience of tremendous spiritual satisfaction. This is the summons that has come to us from the forge of the soul, an invitation to rise above hardship and acknowledge our genuine potential to effect good change in the most basic and significant ways. By following this road, we leave a legacy of healing that transcends the individual and spreads throughout mankind, joining us in purpose and love. This is the actual core of the spiritual journey, finding who we really are and how we may positively affect the world. Families, in their complexities, play a role that extends beyond the surface bonds of love and cohabitation. They act as mirrors, reflecting with terrifying clarity those elements of our nature that we often choose to ignore or suppress. When confronted with familial dysfunction, we are invited on a journey of introspection. It's as if each dispute, each moment of stress, provides an opportunity for us to explore our own inner and discover where bad emotions like rage and control may be resonating inside us. These challenging circumstances, however unpleasant, provide an essential chance for healing and personal growth. They require us to confront these dark qualities, and rather than giving in to despair, we may choose to reinterpret them. This transformational viewpoint demonstrates that the same factors that cause our pain also provide us with the mirror we need for self-reflection. When we embrace this truth, we realize that the actual healing process requires not just strength and resilience, but also unfathomable bravery. This requires confronting and overcoming emotions of rejection, betrayal, and, in some situations, abandonment. But here's the key. When we learn to react to hardship with love, understanding, and compassion, rather than anger and judgment, we may start to break old negative patterns. This is the moment at which dysfunction may be transformed into inner functioning, easing the emotional weight inherited from previous generations. A profound reflection on this route is the conclusion that we should not fight our relatives, but rather perceive them in a different perspective. We begin to see our loved ones, even those who have harmed us the most, as instructors on our spiritual path. They are often wounded souls who operate within the constraints given by their suffering, using the little emotional instruments at their disposal. This transformation of perception is critical. She is like a key that unlocks the gift hiding behind familial poison. By changing our viewpoint, we regain our ability to respond and pick which kind of energy we want to keep and which we want to change. This intentional decision transforms the energy pattern that links all family members, enabling a new space for collective healing to take place. The beauty of this personal development is that it extends beyond the individual. By mending ourselves, we begin to restore our familial relationships. This is a significant act of love and compassion, not just for ourselves, but for all previous generations and those who will follow us. With each step forward in our inner journey, we realize that familial dysfunction was never a punishment, but rather a holy chance for development. The ability to build a life and family based on true love and acceptance, free of the constraints of unfulfilled expectations and previous wounds, is exposed. As we gaze into this mirror, we can see not only our flaws, but also the latent power that exists inside each of us, ready to be reawakened. This new perspective enables us to live from a place of true power, so creating a world in which inner peace and harmony are not only possible, but unavoidable. We see the route ahead, lighted by our newfound knowledge and love. With the power to choose light over darkness, we see that each member of our family has always played an important part in our spiritual awakening. The goal is to use this gift of knowledge to all of our interactions, converting the story of pain and suffering into one of limitless healing and progress. Thus, family, with all of its complications, becomes a rich tapestry of events that prepares us, reveals our real colors, and inspires us to become the most authentic manifestation of who we are. As we go further into the road of self-discovery given by family dynamics, we learn that each issue we encounter is not just a barrier, but rather a step toward greater knowledge and compassion. With this new perspective, we may realize that family disagreements, no matter how depleting they seem, are essentially invitations to spiritual development. This awareness converts the energy that formerly sustained patterns of conflict and resistance into a force for reconciliation and integrity. The procedure is very freeing. We begin to see that genuine freedom is found in accepting and integrating challenging events into our being, rather than avoiding them. Every connection, every tough talk, gives us the chance to practice unconditional love and profound understanding, which are the fundamental basis of an honest spiritual life. When we embrace this invitation to transformation, the image in our family mirror starts to shift. We see not just ourselves and our flaws, but also the beauty that comes from chaos and transformed sorrow. Understanding that grief does not define us, but rather refines us, allows us to forgive, and therefore release our hearts from the grudges that confine us. The healing journey goes beyond our own lives. It resonates across history, impacting the lives of our forefathers and descendants. As we remove the path of accumulated suffering, we bring harmony to our relationships and spiritual heritage. Every act of compassion and empathy we choose to cultivate resonates in the souls linked by these unseen threads, converting the narrative of suffering into one of redemption and peace. As we continue on this road of reflection and change, our families become hallowed circles of learning, with each member playing an important part in our spiritual development. We embrace the complexities of this situation with grace and commitment, prepared to confront and integrate each aspect of our own experience into our broader spiritual path. When we comprehend that families are mirrors, we no longer avoid their reflections. Instead, we align our intents to heal and integrate, knowing that every step we take along the road of compassion and understanding draws us closer not just to ourselves, but also to one another. This new perspective enables us to live in a state of restored harmony, establishing an environment in which love, acceptance, and progress are the driving forces that guide us. Finally, we realize that the ultimate gem concealed behind the intricacies of familial connections is the chance to alter not just ourselves, but also the world around us. By facing this healing process with bravery and vulnerability, we take a significant step toward a future in which the light inside shines brightly, leading and motivating others to walk the same road of discovery and revelation. That familial poison is less of a burden and more of a heartfelt opportunity to cure oneself, represents a significant paradigm shift. This viewpoint encourages us to go beyond the dramas and demands that surround us in order to uncover who we are in essence. True power comes from understanding that being a chosen one does not need us to personally mend or transform our family. Instead, we are encouraged to concentrate completely on our own recovery, knowing that this will have a quiet but profound ripple effect in the world around us. Understanding starts to solidify when we see that the sorrow produced by family members is not a reflection of our own value. In truth, it is often a mirror of their own struggles, traumas, and limits. However, we often internalize these hurts, enabling them to become vital aspects of our own story. The true effort starts when we decide to separate their tales from our own. This detachment helps us to regain control of our identity and reassess our value in a more objective, truthful light. The duty for healing becomes very personal, apart from whatever desires for improvement we may have for our family members. In this case, forgiveness does not serve as a justification or concession for the conduct of others. It is seen as a strong release that enables us to go ahead without prior experiences influencing or defining our life path. Forgiveness becomes an act of self-love, recognizing that we have the right and capacity to break free from the emotional bonds that hold us back. Making this choice and accepting this personal responsibility is the genuine start of an internal change. As we let go of the anguish, we uncover our inherent value and capacity to live a complete, unfettered life. This does not remove potential relationship issues, but it does provide us with the calm and knowledge we need to deal with them in a healthy and balanced manner. Understanding that the healing process is a gift we offer ourselves is critical. As we recover, we stop projecting our fears onto others and begin to genuinely see ourselves as complicated and valued persons. The significance of this personal development is not limited to ourselves. It has a subtle but significant resonance in our everyday relationships. By connecting ourselves with the truth about who we are, we encourage others to seek a connection with themselves. The genuine power of the invitation to heal is in cultivating and nurturing an atmosphere of love, understanding, and respect. Over time, this not only changes our lives, but it also has an indirect impact on previously thought to be unchangeable family relations. This quest is about both rediscovery and growth. As we recover, we begin to view the world in a new light, where every event, good or terrible, is a chance to grow and learn. This internal metamorphosis develops our soul and links us to a higher purpose, helping us to live more true and fulfilling lives. True wholeness is not the absence of conflict, but rather the capacity to negotiate it with grace, wisdom, and loving understanding. Each step in this journey exposes more about our natural ability to love and create change, both within and around us. Accepting the call to heal is a strong decision to live in line with our actual identity, making every moment and action serve our bigger purpose. As this healing journey progresses, it becomes obvious that personal change is a subtle but very strong force. This metamorphosis challenges us to reconsider our ideas and assumptions about who we are and what we are capable of doing. As we go through this process, we learn that each problem presents a chance for spiritual growth. Acceptance and integration, rather than opposition to what is, enable us to genuinely transcend the restrictions imposed by old familial traditions. This realization allows us to live in a condition of greater awareness, in which attachment to judgments from others and ourselves starts to fade. We reach a zone of understanding in which each family member is seen with compassion and empathy, despite their flaws and unique adventures. In this area, we begin to recognize the invitation to heal as a delicate and deep gift extended to us. Each step on this route is a rediscovery, a reminder of our own power of choice and the influence it has not just on our lives, but also on the lives of others around us. We become live models of what is possible when we put our minds to healing and personal development. In environment in which love, acceptance, and progress are the driving forces that guide us. Finally, we realize that the ultimate gem concealed behind the intricacies of familial connections is the chance to alter not just ourselves, but also the world around us. By facing this healing process with bravery and vulnerability, we take a significant step toward a future in which the light inside shines brightly, leading and motivating others to walk the same road of discovery and revelation. That familial poison is less of a burden and more of a heartfelt opportunity to cure oneself, represents a significant paradigm shift. This viewpoint encourages us to go beyond the dramas and demands that surround us in order to uncover who we are in essence. True power comes from understanding that being a chosen one does not need us to personally mend or transform our family. Instead, we are encouraged to concentrate completely on our own recovery, knowing that this will have a quiet but profound ripple effect in the world around us. Understanding starts to solidify when we see that the sorrow produced by family members is not a reflection of our own value. In truth, it is often a mirror of their own struggles, traumas, and limits. However, we often internalize these hurts, enabling them to become vital aspects of our own story. The true effort starts when we decide to separate their tales from our own. This detachment helps us to regain control of our identity and reassess our value in a more objective, truthful light. The duty for healing becomes very personal, apart from whatever desires for improvement we may have for our family members. In this case, forgiveness does not serve as a justification or concession for the conduct of others. It is seen as a strong release that enables us to go ahead without prior experiences, influencing or defining our life path. Forgiveness becomes an act of self-love, recognizing that we have the right and capacity to break free from the emotional bonds that hold us back. Making this choice and accepting this personal responsibility is the genuine start of an internal change. As we let go of the anguish, we uncover our inherent value and capacity to live a complete, unfettered life. This does not remove potential relationship issues, but it does provide us with the calm and knowledge we need to deal with them in a healthy and balanced manner. Understanding that the healing process is a gift we offer ourselves is critical. As we recover, we stop projecting our fears onto others and begin to genuinely see ourselves as complicated and valued persons. The significance of this personal development is not limited to ourselves. It has a subtle but significant resonance in our everyday relationships. By connecting ourselves with the truth about who we are, we encourage others to seek a connection with themselves. The genuine power of the invitation to heal is in cultivating and nurturing an atmosphere of love, understanding, and respect. Over time, this not only changes our lives, but it also has an indirect impact on previously thought to be unchangeable family relations. This quest is about both rediscovery and growth. As we recover, we begin to view the world in a new light, where every event, good or terrible, is a chance to grow and learn. This internal metamorphosis develops our soul and links us to a higher purpose, helping us to live more true and fulfilling lives. True wholeness is not the absence of conflict, but rather the capacity to negotiate it with grace, wisdom, and loving understanding. Each step in this journey exposes more about our natural ability to love and create change, both within and around us. Accepting the call to heal is a strong decision to live in line with our actual identity, making every moment and action serve our bigger purpose. As this healing journey progresses, it becomes obvious that personal change is a subtle but very strong force. This metamorphosis challenges us to reconsider our ideas and assumptions about who we are and what we are capable of doing. As we go through this process, we learn that each problem presents a chance for spiritual growth. Acceptance and integration, rather than opposition to what is, enable us to genuinely transcend the restrictions imposed by old familial traditions. This realization allows us to live in a condition of greater awareness, in which attachment to judgments from others and ourselves starts to fade. We reach a zone of understanding in which each family member is seen with compassion and empathy, despite their flaws and unique adventures. In this area, we begin to recognize the invitation to heal as a delicate and deep gift extended to us. Each step on this route is a rediscovery, a reminder of our own power of choice and the influence it has not just on our lives, but also on the lives of others around us. We become live models of what is possible when we put our minds to healing and personal development. In doing so, we not only take a step toward our own independence, but also encourage others to go on their own journeys. During this process, we develop new degrees of patience, tolerance, and self-love. We establish a safe area inside ourselves to which we can retreat anytime we need serenity and comfort. Our presence becomes a source of peace and confidence, not just for ourselves, but also for everyone in our circle. Each healing option serves as a reminder that we are all linked, and that one person's change may have a significant impact on the collective. This inner journey teaches us that before we can repair the world around us, we must first heal ourselves. The lessons we gain on this path are invaluable integrations that prepare us to live in line with our deepest truths. This experience contributes to our knowledge of the interconnection of all creatures and the oneness of existence. We perceive life as a tapestry made up of shared experiences and rediscovered loves, rather as a series of separate occurrences. As we progress, we learn to see the depth of knowledge contained in the simplicity of the present moment. We discover that when we love and care for our inner garden, it thrives in ways we never imagined. We recognize that the serenity we seek is already inside us, ready to be explored and accepted. This is the genuine invitation to healing, a call to awaken to the wholeness that has always been. With each deliberate decision, we develop the power and balance required to live a more harmonious and meaningful life. This awareness not only enhances our personal journey, but also illuminates the route for everyone in our zone of influence. This is the core of the spiritual path, an eternal return to the heart of who we actually are, accepting each step with love, appreciation, and acceptance. At this point in the journey, inner change leads to a tremendous feeling of liberty and spiritual healing. This independence is more than simply physically separating ourselves from connections that endanger our health. It also includes an emotional and spiritual liberty that transcends any outward barrier. By releasing ourselves from the urge to respond to the judgments and expectations of others, we enable the truth that pulsates inside us, this distinct and true nature, to guide our decisions and actions. It is a process that entails confronting the truth and breaking the myths and ideas that, for so long, have kept us trapped in restrictive familial patterns. This separation occurs not just physically, but also energetically, allowing for a different viewpoint. We come to regard our families as fallible and equally harmed human people, rather than as enemies in our life stories. This compassion is only possible when we overcome the restrictions put on both them and ourselves. As we work on our own change, the chosen serves as a positive mirror, a source of quiet but strong motivation. We are prompted to consider not just our own prospects for transformation, but also those of others. Although alterations are not always visible, our inner healing process is a quiet power that drives tremendous changes in us. This power to inspire is not dependent on specific words or acts, but rather on a presence that exudes calm and honesty. The unconditional acceptance of ourselves and self-love that we create throughout this process serve as foundations that help us live in accordance with our actual identity. As we accepted this fact, we stop defining ourselves based on our prior experiences. Instead, we are reborn each day with the bravery to choose a career that genuinely reflects who we are. In this journey of self-discovery and sincerity, we unintentionally inspire people around us to pursue the same freedom. It's like tossing a stone into a peaceful lake, with each wave representing a potential awakening or shift in one's life. Thus, we disrupt the agony cycles that have been passed down from generation to generation for so long. This cleansing has the ability to reverberate through time, reaching future generations who will inherit not only the wounds, but also the strength and clarity we choose to nurture. With each stride forward on this personal liberation journey, we confirm our potential to live a life of complete sincerity and inspiration. This is the actual power of transformation, not just to bring calm to our own being, but also to shine a light on everyone who crosses our path. The metamorphosis we experience on our spiritual path is a never-ending dance of self-awareness and progress. Each step toward inner liberation exposes a new dimension of ourselves, free of the shackles that have long characterized us. This personal emancipation process teaches us that genuine strength is the capacity to become virtuous in the midst of life's emotional storms. It is not the absence of obstacles that defines us, but rather the grace and fortitude with which we meet them. During periods of contemplation, we started to peel back even more layers of our brain, uncovering facts lurking under the surface. This realization inspires us to develop the unwavering fortitude required to confront our anxieties and insecurities. Face them gives us clarity in distinguishing between the external voices that attempt to steer us and the inner voice that understands our actual purpose. As acceptance grows, We learn to accept our flaws as part of the human experience, enabling self-love to thrive. This love is not complacent. It is a call to develop and become the best version of ourselves. By fully embracing ourselves, we paradoxically open ourselves up to change. The impulsiveness that previously directed us has been replaced with a feeling of calm and understanding. Past events are seen through the lenses of learning and thankfulness, acknowledging that without them, we would not be where we are now. The internal journey is a liberating experience, with each choice that aligns with our core bringing us closer to our truth. In doing so, we not only determine our own personal destiny, but also leave a legacy of love and understanding that affects everyone we know. This new viewpoint on life naturally transforms us into silent guides for others, who perceive in us the potential for healing and change. We have an influence on the world around us by simply being genuine, just as a river follows its path, giving life and rejuvenation wherever it passes. As a result, each day is a new chance to rejoice, to connect more profoundly with ourselves, and to give the world the most free and radiant expression of our truth, renewing reflection and growth. As we develop inner freedom, the clarity of purpose becomes more meaningful, guiding our way with aim and significance. We live in a condition of complete present, where every moment invites us to be grateful and appreciative of the minor benefits that frequently go unrecognized. This rise in awareness is not only revolutionary, but also profoundly transformational. It helps us to see the delicate subtleties of life, the quiet currents of love and connection that keep us going even in difficult times. Our willingness to be vulnerable in our authenticity encourages others to do the same, resulting in a community of soul searchers who find strength in togetherness. Our dedication to truth resonates in our everyday encounters, reminding us that every decision, no matter how little, adds to greater communal well-being. When we make choices based on love and compassion, we become positive change agents who inspire others to follow suit. Emotional Freedom Wins provides an environment in which inner knowledge may arise and express itself freely. The echoes of our ethical and conscious acts spread, casting shadows of dread and uncertainty over the world around us. This is the force of transformation, a sense of assurance and tranquility that surrounds and infects us. As we progress on our own path, we realize that we are inextricably linked to the web of life. Each decision influences not just our own fate, but also the flow of mankind as a whole. We allow this interconnectedness to guide us toward creating a world built on the foundations of truth, love, and freedom. As a result, the pursuit of completeness is transformed into a common road of satisfaction and harmony, rather than just a personal aim. We inspire one another to set new goals, push beyond perceived limitations, and dream big. Walking together, we constantly reaffirm our dedication to our nature, understanding the immense power that is inherent in being true, fearless, and completely free. In the spiritual journey, the root of chosen emerges as a daring yet profoundly rewarding challenge. As we progress, we discover that challenges and hardships, particularly those that arise in familial connections, are really invitations veiled for an inner awakening and major personal development. Each problem we confront serves not only as a stumbling block, but also as a trampoline that propels us toward a higher purpose, helping us to gain a better knowledge of ourselves and the world around us. As we progress, we learn that this is not a trip to be undertaken in solitude. There is a vastness of spirits, a thriving community of chosen people, all striving to break old rules and heal the wounds that have echoed down centuries. This cohesive network of dedicated people weaves a supportive and inspiring tapestry, supporting each of us in turn. From this common viewpoint, we are forging an unprecedented road, one that traverses the ruins of the past and leads to a fresh world founded on the values of love, compassion, and truth. This is an awakening period, and the bravery of each chosen person fuels the communal flame of change. As a result, the invitation extends to each spectator, to each person at a crossroads in his or her spiritual journey. It is a summons to fully embrace its position as chosen, to envisage and actualize the life that its authenticity and purpose actually want. We imagine a future in which each of us lives in accordance with our heart's most sincere desires, where authenticity is not just an ideal, but the fundamental substance of our everyday existence. We discover boundless optimism and possibility on the trip, which, although difficult, provides a fertile ground for our own development, and by extension, our social progress. As we travel this route, we are continuously reminded that our personal development does not occur in a vacuum. Each step we take has an impact on our surroundings, pushing others to seek out and pursue their own honest path. Our personal progress is a seed that, when fertilized, produces beneficial and long-term changes in the fabric of the community around us. The potential to be chosen is, in reality, an invitation to live fully, to connect intimately, to love without boundaries, and to create a world that represents our best ideals. Thus, from the little acts of kindness we do to the major choices that determine our future, everything is perfectly aligned with a conscious and vivid vision of life that we want to create and share. Finally, this path involves a constant exploitation of our spiritual potential, with setbacks seen as opportunities for future growth. This transforming experience results in unshakable clarity and an inner power that guides every action with complete confidence and love. We are on an everlasting discovery journey, and each return on the path is met with openness and purpose. With each stride, we celebrate the waking of our inner divinity, the understanding that we are all a spark of something magnificent and limitless. This awareness inspires us to actively engage in the cosmic dance of life, knowing that we are leaving a legacy of light and hope for future generations. And it is with this trust, love, and elevated outlook that we continue our journey as change agents, spiritual leaders, and brave makers of a world founded on love and harmony. This continual journey provides not only the beauty of a fresh beginning, but also the promise of an ongoing transformation that resonates profoundly in all aspects of life. As we become more active in our position as chosen, we accept the responsibility and privilege of molding our personal destiny while also contributing to the communal awakening. It is a call to travel beyond the surface, into the depths of our mind, to find hidden riches of knowledge and compassion. The journey is not always simple, but it is full with possibilities to broaden our knowledge and compassion. When we connect with our inner truth, we discover an infinite amount of bravery to fight any misfortune that appears in front of us. This internal wellspring of bravery not only empowers us, but also provides us with the tranquility that comes from being honest to ourselves. As we progressed on this trip, we began to recognize each individual as an integral part of the grand fabric of life. This knowledge of interconnectedness motivates us to be kind and generous, knowing that our actions have an impact and contribute to the larger good. Love then becomes the global language that brings us together and propels us toward a common destiny. This viewpoint enables us to see each obstacle as a foundation, each achievement as a shared celebration, and each encounter as a chance to plant seeds of positive development. We can build safe places for ourselves and others through love and compassion, allowing everyone to thrive and change. This path of life motivates us to dream large, to create bridges where there were once obstacles, and to inspire a new generation of chosen to carry on this important tradition. We confront tomorrow with a clear and resolute mindset, knowing that each step we take gets us closer to a society in which honesty is not only accepted, but appreciated. In the completeness of our awakening, we realize that genuine freedom is the power to live in total harmony with our essence. Despite the hardships, this journey is one of healing, rediscovery, and regeneration, where each soul finds its place and each heart sings its truth. Together, we built a new paradigm in which love is the driving force that lights our path and directs our collective journey to a wonderful and enlightened future. In our spiritual path, we recognize that each personal reform has far-reaching consequences, affecting the lives and circumstances around us. The role of the chosen becomes crucial in this process, as it is continually encouraged to consider what it really wishes to leave as a legacy for the world and future generations. Each step made on the road of healing and self-realization helps to break the cycle of suffering, establishing a new paradigm based on light, compassion, and self-love. When we become genuine change agents, we inspire not just our present community, but also future generations, motivating them to seek out and follow their own paths of healing and self-discovery. Each individual's specific contribution intertwines with that of others, generating a broader mosaic of collective change. It is not only about the actual activities we have taken, but also about the energy and emotional environment we have created. Living genuinely demonstrates that it is possible to overcome the restrictions of ancestral scars, allowing us to discover true purpose and satisfaction. The legacy of a chosen is therefore loaded with hope and possibilities, demonstrating that healing is not only feasible, but also expanding and infectious. When we examine closely, we see that the message we spread is fundamentally based on the premise that living genuinely overcomes the limitations imposed by previous experiences. We therefore have an influence not only on the physical plane, but also on the energy field, contributing to the ongoing evolution of the emotional environment around us. Our lives become physical evidence that it is possible to forge a path based on internal truth and unconditional acceptance of love in its purest form. We inspire others to follow suit, resulting in an infinite ripple effect that favors good and long-term change. Each encounter, every exchange of glances, and every word said with purpose contributes to the net of light that we are creating in our individual and communal reality. The path of the chosen in quest of personal healing transforms into one of communal enrichment, where knowledge emerges from the transformation of negative energy into attitudes and concepts that reinforce and grow. Looking forward, we may be certain that our intentions and deeds have laid the groundwork for a more enlightened and loving future. With each passing day, we renew our commitment to a future in which healing is inextricably linked with global love and cooperation. Thus, our potential unfolds not only as individuals, but also as cells of a greater organism, humanity itself, that is constantly renewed. As we accepted the grand responsibility of being light drivers, we inspired those around us to seek the same inner brightness, ensuring that the legacy of love and transformation permeates the story and reaches the heart of each being, thereby shaping a new and vibrant fabric for collective human experiences. In this never-ending cycle of development, everyone chosen becomes a conscious co-creator of a brighter world, whose everyday choices and actions contribute to global change. By appropriating his healing journey and self-discovery, each person not only lights his own path, but also helps others who follow in their footsteps. This active engagement in creating a legacy of light is a significant act of service to mankind, illustrating that genuine transformation starts inside and spreads out. The strength of this path resides in its simplicity and profundity. It does not need grand gestures, but rather the integrity of everyday living, in which modest acts of kindness, attentive listening, and love compose a symphony of long-term transformation. As we live our truth, we naturally embody the example, allowing us to overcome previous restrictions and repurpose past experiences as development possibilities. Self-love is at the center of this metamorphosis, produced by accepting and comprehending the shadows and brightness that make our nature. By nurturing our internal light, we develop the power to create confidence and calmness in the outer environment, resulting in a virtuous cycle of healing and rejuvenation. This never-ending cycle of development and inspiration creates a living fabric of shared experiences, strengthened by interactions with individuals we meet, and the seeds of hope we plant along the way. The beauty of this journey is in the connection that it fosters among like-minded minds, inspiring us to persevere in our quest for authenticity and purpose. As change agents, we recognize the need of maintaining the spark of ongoing transformation, particularly for individuals who continue to pursue their own light. Our obligation goes beyond the present, to future generations who will inherit the vibrations of love and compassion that we nurture. Each meditation, self-care deed, and decision to pursue the road of empathy becomes an important part of this ongoing legacy. Inspired by the vision of a united and harmonious world, we persevere, knowing that even the simplest deeds, when conducted with purpose and clarity, have the potential to resound in the eternal design of the cosmos. Thus, everyone chosen participates in a grand symphony of change in which the themes of hope and potential are always present, bringing us toward a reality in which light and love reign supreme. The fullness of our potential arises when we join together, not just as individuals, but as a global community dedicated to leaving a trail of light for those who will follow. In our capacity to communicate and share, each of us, on our own paths, bears a unique piece of the spiritual jigsaw that, when combined, offers a holistic perspective of a restored world. This legacy of light, therefore, is not static. It is a dynamic phenomenon that is continually expanded by the efforts of everyone who participate in this journey. We consciously create a future in which future generations not only get the benefits of our efforts, but are also encouraged to continue to enhance this legacy with their own ideas and perspectives. The beauty of this process resides in its interconnection and the way each chosen person makes an everlasting stamp on the course of human history, fostering a culture of compassion and understanding that crosses borders. In our pursuit of honesty, we promote a quiet revolution of conscience, elevating not just ourselves but also our communities, and ultimately, the whole globe. This is a call to recognize the limitless possibilities of living with integrity and purpose, and to recognize that our everyday acts, no matter how tiny, may have a significant influence. By cultivating personal peace and communal togetherness, we provide a fertile ground for love to grow in all of its manifestations. By shielding this flame from change, we ensure that the healing and transformation energies continue, not as an exception, but as the rule. Based on our genuineness, we are catalysts for the creation of a new way of life in which the true essence of the human person is acknowledged and appreciated. Each heart-affected and inspired soul helps to expand this light sphere. Transformation is not a distant objective, but rather a present reality that we foster with each conscious breath. In sum, the legacy of light we wish to leave is a promise to mankind of a future in which hope is eternal, and healing ability is a universal and accessible reality for everyone. This dedication to collective spiritual progress, founded on love and compassion, genuinely identifies the nobility of our souls and confirms our role as chosen to create an innately better world.